Hello and welcome to the Come and Go podcast. I'm your host, Fidel, and today, as usual, I'm joined by.
Hi, I'm Hayden, but I'm also known as Leafy. You just call me Leafy. And
Hi, hello. It's the usual Will. How are you guys doing?
Wicked, mate. I'm doing wicked. I'm doing. How about you? How about you, Hayden Leafy, whatever your name is?
I am extremely tired because I've been watching anime for the past 12 hours, but I'm ready to do
Nice,
this shit.
nice. We might get into
Oh
that a
yeah.
little bit later, maybe if you're lucky, if we genuinely care. Right. So, the first
We
topic
don't.
at hand.
Only if
so,
we care about you, we'll go on to that.
so, the first topic at hand is the big old scandal that a YouTuber named Derrick Jaxn has gone through. Now, a lot of people don't know who he is. Um, Basically, he's just some um, relationship quote unquote guru, always giving one side, funny enough, women advice on how to deal with quote unquote bad men. Um, so, in the past couple of days, he's been revealed and outed to be a cheater, right? Now, everyone is focused on the cheating aspect, but we won't be because, you know, everyone knows, cheating is bad, you know? Wouldn't you agree, guys? Big no no.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need someone to tell you that cheating is bad, you shouldn't have a relationship in the first place.
Oh,
Like,
that's beautifully put. Beautifully put. But, like I said, everyone's focused on that, and to be fair, we don't want to focus on that because it's too, first of all, it's too easy. What we're going to focus on is the fact that there men like him, um, they tend to tell women, right, how bad men are. All men, they don't decipher. They tell
I
women,
mean,
yeah, go on.
they tell all women how bad all men are, except for them. They're like,
Yeah,
all men
yeah,
are bad, except for me. I'm
Mhm.
the one. So, yeah, it's bullshit.
yeah. So my general consensus is basically that, but also on top of the fact that these are all older women, right? Now I know sometimes you might want to hear what you want to hear, but like I said, these are all women over the age of 18, right? At at some point, you have got to have the common sense to realize that is it too good to be true? Like, you get what I mean? Like, if something is too good to be true, then it probably is. Like, it's too good to be true. And he consistently painted himself, like you said, Leafy or Hayden. Um,
Just say Leafy. It sounds weird you say.
Hayden. Sorry. Um,
I just, uh,
but like I was saying, yeah, at some point you got to realize when something's too good to be true, it probably is. And he really hammered home how bad cheating is and how bad how bad a man ignoring you is. Like, ladies, please, sometimes a lot of men are not ignoring you because we hate you. It's because we ourselves are probably going through some bullshit or have been through some bullshit earlier in the day and we just don't want to talk.
Mhm. Yeah, I think one of the main dangers with especially what he was doing was like at the end of the day, fucking you do you. I it was in one of the videos that he did with his wife when they're holding hands, and it was like, oh, I've accepted what he's done and blah blah blah, and within just those two human beings, if they feel like they can truly move on, like power to them, whatever. But the danger of what he was doing was it's the age old thing of I'm gonna build myself up by putting others down. And if you want to go around blowing your own trumpet and people want to listen to that, then that's fair. Like if you're able to be this typical dude that can just like weave his way through crowds and get up to women and make them fall in love, whatever. But it's the danger of I'm gonna slag off literally my entire gender while putting myself on a pedestal. And I think he even made a comment of himself while he was reviewing his own video of like, oh, it looked like this guy was trying to put himself on a pedestal and blah blah blah, but it was this weird like double inception of by commenting on how this guy, bear in mind him, was putting himself on a pedestal. He was putting himself on a pedestal by slagging himself off in the past. Like how metagame is this guy playing right now? That he's on a whole nother level that none of us, like, we can only dream on being, where he can actually somehow in his mind think, yeah, I'm bigging myself up. The ladies are gonna love this if I sit here and slag myself off and review myself.
So that age-old adage, like, we're here playing checkers while he's there playing 4D chess.
Literally, like he's on a whole other level. He's on a different plane right now, and it's so difficult to understand that he could sit there and again between him and his wife, they do whatever they want, but the fact that he can sit there, watch his old videos of. If anyone else watched his videos, but like, he's insane. But what is going on in his head where he can look at that and be like, yeah, I'm right. This guy's right. I'm gonna talk about how good this guy is, but also slag himself off by building himself up. Like, what?
I think another funny
Like,
thing I
The
take.
whole.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Go on.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like, the whole thing that just proves, like, the point that he just doesn't give a shit is like, because obviously before this whole controversy started, he was like, oh yeah, you can read about how to treat women right in this book and all this sort of stuff. Legit, after he got outed as being a piece of shit in relationships, how did he end the video? You can read all about my mistakes and how I made them and how
Plugged himself
in my new book.
plugged his own video.
Jesus Christ!
Like, that blew my mind when I read. Like, there is some shunned advertisement out there. Like, I remember all the hate, the things like the Pauls get, Logan and Jake Paul get, of like they're so shamelessly plugging their material, but like. He actually plugs himself in this video. Everyone else is like, you're insane. It's like, you can read about how shit of a human being I am in my book. Please buy my book.
While he's squeezing his fucking wife's hand in a previous video, being like, yeah, you better fucking be happy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's a whole other Stockholm syndrome as it is, but like, that's something else.
Yeah, that is. Well, I was just gonna say that one thing that makes me laugh, right, and it brings me a little bit of joy because I am sadistic like that. Is that we were men were telling women, do not listen to this man, do not listen to him. He's telling you what you want to hear. He's telling you what you want to hear. And women were listening in one ear and throwing it out the other, right? And now, I remember reading comments, right? Before he kind of blacked out his comment section and now no one can post. But I remember reading, like,
Did you actually do that?
Yeah. I actually commented on his video, mocking him. But, yeah, he blacked out his comment section, but I remember reading a comment there that said something like, I threw away my boyfriend, a man who actually loved me because of your advice. And that just said it all.
Bruh.
That said it all. That
I mean, that's
statement said it all.
That boyfriend that got dumped is lucky though, because if you're willing to throw away a relationship of a guy you
I mean, yeah, like
love based on that,
where's the flaw in that chain? Like that, if that's kind of a. I agree with you there. I think he actually may have gone out a little bit
your boyfriend
safer.
dodged a bullet there. He dodged a fucking
Yeah,
bullet.
I think if your mindset and the relationship that you're in is already so fragile that you can watch a video like that and be like, I'm just gonna cut off half my life here purely because of what this relationship guru is saying. Like, that's a dangerous place to be already. Like, that's probably for the best.
Well,
But
that's the thing.
still, like that, whether that relationship was fragile or not, and at the end of the day, it's their decision and whatever. But it's got to be interesting to be Derrick and watch and look at these comments and be like, do you think he's proud of it?
I think
Like, do you think that's the kind of mindset he's in, where he's like, yeah, like even but literally, he's probably in the mindset of I can do no wrong now. I can literally say whatever I want, and he reads his comments or what used to be there of like, yeah, look at all these people flocking into my space. Like they're all the comments are, oh, I will listen to you, blah, 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 blah. Like his ego is probably massive, despite all the damage he's done.
Yeah.
And that's the dangerous part. Like doing like doing a bad thing once, but then it's the whole idea of like, I mean, literally, it goes as deep as even feeling remorse can literally have an effect on your time in court.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like that's how important remorse is after a mistake. Where it's like, do you feel bad for this person for killing this person? Yes, I do. Cool, your sentence has been cut in half. Like that's how important remorse can be, and the fact that he can look at all
Oh
this
shit, was that
damage.
easy?
Yeah, sometimes it is. That's the worrying part. But he's probably like he's literally the equivalent of like he's standing at the top of this destroyed city, looking down at all the demolition. He's like, yeah, I've done well. Like, surely there's got to be a point where he's got to lay there at night and be like, fuck.
Well, there's the added bonus apparently that he had very big business deals that he had made before all of this. Like apparently there's some pastor or something like I'm probably wrong, but I know that he had big things planned. Funny enough, literally, I think in the coming weeks before all of this, and now because of everything that happened, you know, he's probably in damage. What it is? It's damage control. When you got your girl on the YouTube video holding it, not even holding, clutching that hand like it's a fucking diamond, like you know, you fucking fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, at some point, you know, he must feel like fuck. I've watched everything just die in front of me. Like, you get what I mean? So
I've watched everything die in front of me. Quick. It's like, oh, I've watched everything dying in front of me. Quick, I've got to write a book about that.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, quick, give me the camera. We need to make a video.
Like, probably milking whatever little. Because, you know, even in these kind of situations, you will have fans, male or female, you will have fans. A really small portion of fans still defending the person. Like, you get what I mean? So I have no doubt that there is a small population of female within his fans who are saying, no, Derrick, no, this can't be you. Ooh, like, you get what I mean? So, you know, but I also can't help but think another thing is that what if this guy didn't look like Derrick Jaxn? Like, would women have listened? Like, this guy's a good-looking guy. No,
that was my next point of like, it just so happens that he's a massive, buff, good-looking guy. Like, you don't get these kind of stories about this basement bearded man
It looks like
Yeah, he
skipping.
just like shows up and be like, hi ladies. I know how to get in your pants.
Yeah, like that guy from Men in Black.
Yeah,
Ludicrous.
yeah. It just happens to be that he's a good-looking dude.
And I think,
Like,
yeah, go on.
it's just that's the danger that unfortunately some more unstable uh, people have if they just happen to be good looking, and especially depending on the environment they're in, is that it can actually get to people's head sometimes. Where if someone is told they are good looking constantly,
Yeah.
eventually they'll believe it, but which is a good thing. Everyone should always hold themselves highly and be relatively happy with who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a danger of where it just gets a bit much. And like he looks in the mirror of like, yeah, like I'm a really good looking dude. I'm 10 out of 10. And then there's one thing of you can feel like you're a 10 out of 10 and you can be a 10 out of 10. That's good for you. But then when you start using it, then that's where it becomes a danger.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And it's funny. It's funny to me that women would. I remember a couple of years ago, if not last year as well, like there were certain women going, "Oh yeah, you men look at these Twitch streamers and you simp for them and you listen to them and whatnot." Oh, how the tables have turned! Like you get what I mean? Like
Mm.
here's a good-looking guy. He says everything, and they kind of like clap their hands like seals and kind of.
I mean, like it even goes back to like some of the most famous, like serial killers
Oh
out
yeah,
there
my God.
have been like good-looking dudes, and they've literally made a living on wooing women and having his way with them in whatever way he
I mean,
pleases. And it's like the whole obviously the wave of male simps is to the size and the extent it is now is a relatively new thing. But is it one sided? Absolutely not. Like you look back through history, and there's been situations of both sides, quote unquote, simping, for a lack of a better word,
Mm-hmm.
and that's led people to literally to their death, both men and women.
That's very true. That is very
well, with the
true.
whole like serial killer thing, I think it's also the aspect of like, oh, I want to see this poor man and I want to fix
Mm.
him and
The,
shit like that.
the hero's
Yeah.
complex.
It's more of like, oh, he's so troubled and deep and shit. And like, nah, he just wants to fucking stab you in the
Yeah.
back.
Oh,
Like,
he's so dark and mysterious. No, he's just run from the cops. That's why
Yeah,
he's
he wants to
mysterious.
eat your liver. He wants to eat you.
Yeah, it's like I like the way he strokes my skin. Yeah, because he wants it.
He wants to wear it. He wants to wear it like Bill from
He
Silence
wants
of
it
the
as a
Lambs.
face mask. He
Your
wants to
face,
make a lamp out of it.
your face is his mask.
Yeah,
Oh God. But no,
he's gonna go as drag as you.
oh Jesus.
no, but it's true. It is true. I mean, now it's the whole thing of, you know, like like I said, like I was saying earlier, that it's that thing of men were telling you this dude is a fake. Like, the actual men were trying to protect you. Like, actual men were trying to protect your feelings and say, don't
Hmm.
listen to him. Like, yeah, like, we do have shitty qualities, but he's trying to put us to a standard which no one is, male or female. Because, like, the shit this man would say, it's like, bro, like, who can do that? Like, he said some shit like, "Oh, men should be communicating 24/7 with their woman." Like, literally, he wasn't saying it figuratively. He meant that literally. Like,
Yeah,
even when you go out and you come back from the shop, you gotta tell your girl, like, you know, what, like,
like
what's up.
every step you take, every person you walk past, like, oh, this person breathes in my direction. Don't worry, babe, I'm still true to you.
But that's the thing, and no man or woman can do that. Like, who the
Mm,
fuck wants to tell someone, and who the fuck wants to listen to someone that tells them every little detail of their
Mm.
day.
Well, it's like I remember I saw a post on Facebook recently that it was along the lines of like telling your partner, like keeping checks with your partner throughout the day, blah, and telling them what you're doing, blah blah, um isn't like possessiveness. It's respect, and it's like yeah, to a certain extent, it's like there's been times where obviously with me and my girlfriend when I'm out with the guys, there's a sort of mutual understanding where it's like if I'm busy, I will try my best to contact. I'll let you know that I'm not dead at the very least. And there's been times where I've forgotten, and she's gotten annoyed with me of like you've gone on a long journey, you haven't told me you've gotten there. Like especially with things going on at the moment, like traveling is risky as it is, or whatever.
Mhm.
And there's been times where I've forgotten because we've gotten into something, or I'm distracted, or I'm like even times at work, and it's like if there's it's not my job to sit there and be like, I'm doing this. Okay, now I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. But it does vary between relationships. Obviously, people are going to have different methods of like. There's been stages in the relationship where me and my girlfriend literally won't even send a text to each other for days because we're not doing anything. Like we're both at home, especially during the COVID times. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. There's only so many times in a day where you can be, what are you doing now? What are you up to now? What are you up to now? Like, still just playing games like I was 3 hours ago.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not going to sit there and be, okay, now I'm playing Call of Duty. Oh, now I'm playing Sea of Thieves. And now I'm playing Minecraft. Like, if she wants to ask, then I answer. If I ask, then she answers.
It's like you
Yep.
need to have looked your entire day and just send it to her at the end of it.
Yeah, it's like that's, and I get to a certain extent where it's like if I travel and I completely wipe on keeping people in check, I'll feel bad for her and be like, yeah, you know, my bad. Like, all I've been doing is this. Like, don't worry, I'm fine. And I'll give him more of a rundown of what I have been doing as sort of a makeup for like, sorry for leaving you hanging. I'll give you more information than I usually would. But I get that you don't do it 24/7. No one wants that. Like, and especially with him going, oh yeah, you the guy that tells you what they're doing literally every minute of the day. I promise you that would drive you insane.
Yeah.
No one wants that. If I'm sitting here and every minute I'm hearing ting 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 on my phone, it's a text from my girl. It's like, oh, well, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Great. Okay. Like, enough.
At that point, are you really in a relationship or are you just their carer? Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
are you in a
Are you
relationship or are you in a ownership?
yeah. It's like I don't, and it's the whole idea of that's not possession. That's respect. It's like to a certain extent, like my respect goes as far as if I'm doing something interesting or I'm doing something unique, then I'll let you know purely because I think it will interest you.
Mhm.
And I know that especially if I'm traveling, then I'll try and keep up. Like especially traveling to do with London and whatnot. Like the underground is difficult to communicate through.
Mhm.
So at the very least, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going underground now. I'll text you when I'm out. And 2 3 hours will pass, and I'll come out of the underground and be cool. I'm out. Whatever. I'm not going to be. So I got on this train, and then I got on this line, and then I sat there opposite this person. Like there's 3 hours in the day where she got nothing from me. But it was because it was just an understood respect, and that's where the respect comes from. It does when you are checking in with someone 24/7. It's as you say that becomes possession.
Mhm. But that's but the thing. Yeah, go on. Go on.
I was going to say that the problem with like his whole approach to relationships and the problems that people are having, it's so just black and white, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Whereas anyone
Yeah.
who's actually
Yeah.
Fucking relation. Like, it's like, oh, you've got this problem. This is how you solve it. You've got this problem. You solve it like this. You need to do this, this, and this. Whereas if you're in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not how it works. There's a give, there's
Yeah.
take,
So it's the
complexities.
whole.
There's, like you said, there's jobs, there's parts when you're apart that you're going to be close together, and there's just mutual understanding that you need to respect each other and respect each other's boundaries as well.
It's like he kind of gives me a little bit of PewDiePie flashbacks where when he messed up, and obviously he has and still does have a huge following. His impact on social media is still massive. If he wants something done, there are going to be armies who will get that done for him. And one of the main arguments against him when he made a couple mistakes along the way, like not defending him, he did mess up. But one of the main arguments against him was, "Oh, you've got to be more understandable of the impacts that you have. Like you've got a huge fan base, blah blah blah." And that's when it becomes dangerous. That it's he puts himself in the place of a guru, and it's like he puts out these blanket statements directing to everyone, but everyone, all the viewers are in completely different situations, and they're all flocking to this one statement that they're all going to take their own meanings and their own responses to it, and some are going to be positive, some are going to be negative. Like the girl who read it was like, "I broke up with the guy who loves me for this." Someone is going to read that same comment or the same statement from him and be, "Oh yeah, it actually opened my eyes that I wasn't really happy with my relationship, so we kind of just drifted apart and I called it off."
Yeah.
Some are going to find it healthy, some are going to find it hazardous.
Yeah.
But it's the lack of understanding of the platform that he is on, that he's obviously not PewDiePie level, but he's already getting thousands, nearly hundreds of thousands of views. He's got a crap ton of subscribers, and it's just immature, really. Where you just throw and be, "This is a message to all girls: if your man doesn't do this, break up with him." You'll see there's a sudden wave of single dudes because fleets of women have broken up with their partners because of this statement.
Yeah, I mean, there have been arguments. Like I said, I was going through a comment section, and women were literally saying, "I've had arguments with my man, showing them like referencing what you're saying," and I'm just thinking, you've argued with your man for nothing.
Yeah, don't worry. This was probably a completely peaceful relationship beforehand.
Yeah.
Like this is where the problem comes in, that he was almost infecting healthy relationships with unnecessary issues. He's pointing out problems that aren't even there, and especially depending on like if you're already in a reasonably unstable relationship already, if anything's going to push you over the edge, you come across a channel like this, and he goes, "Is he talking to you 24/7? No. Oh, he must not love me then. I need to have an argument with him." Like, just look at that statement and be, "Do I agree with it? Yes or no? If I do, what do? You talk about it. You have a discussion."
That is the main problem right now in relationships, because people, slightly going on to a different topic, but staying in the whole, staying still in the same part of it, is that people watch and you can see it a lot in Instagram, especially in the whole new reel system that they have. That the thing they copy from TikTok and whatnot, where you see these perfect relationships of people, joking around and playing jokes and whatnot, and ladies, this is not an attack on you, but it's like women tend to fantasize a lot more. Not all women, but some, or at least most women, tend to fantasize a lot more on that kind of perfect relationship, and there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, it's not just a woman thing. Everyone wants like a perfect, good relationship. Like,
No, I get that, but I mean, like,
it's just a woman thing.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the time the catalyst for these arguments and whatnot because, a woman, you know, innocently has seen a video, like prime example, Derrick Jaxn or whatnot, has seen a video, telling them, oh, if your man um, doesn't do this, then, you know, argue with him. He doesn't even they fucking talk about it. It's like, the thing is, the way, like you said, Will, is that it's blanket statement. It's not like, if he doesn't do this, you should sit him down. You should sit down with him and say, baby, why aren't you doing this? Like, am I doing something wrong or what's going on? It's the same thing with TikTok or Instagram where you see these perfect relationships, or at least, obviously they're going to show you the perfect side. I mean, no one's going to show you an ugly picture or an ugly video of them. No one.
Especially things like Instagram, like that is notorious for, like, literally the term of an Instagram photo is infamous for that alone. Where, like, that is literally the spawn of the meme of like a reality versus expectation.
Yeah.
That spawned from Instagram, where it's like they've got the filters and they'll get the best angle. They'll take 1,000 pictures, and 909 of them, you look like a fucking troll. That 100th would be perfect. That's the one. They'll go on the internet, and suddenly everyone's like, "Oh my god, you're so pretty. You look so effortless to be absolutely gorgeous." Yes, we stan. Like, you don't see what's going behind the camera. That you don't see all the fucking butters' faces that they pull during it.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the point I'm getting at. That they see these perfect relationships or these perfect couples have playing jokes and whatnot, but they don't see the ugly side of things, And obviously, social media is the catalyst for, like you said, all these memes of expectation, but reality and whatnot. The problem is, like I was saying originally, is that people don't talk anymore, and especially in relationships. If you have a problem, if there's something you want or you want to do, you just gotta talk about it. I don't know why it's become a thing. I saw on YouTube, and this guy told me on YouTube that you have to do this, because if you don't do this, then you can get out and whatnot. And obviously, let's say, Will, obviously you're the only one here in a relationship. But, let's say your girl, saw some video, and obviously you've just come home from a fucking 15-hour shift, right? You come home, you're sweated, you're toiled, you made that bread, you're bringing home the bacon, right? And then all of a sudden, your woman's just gone, I saw this, and she doesn't sit down and whatnot, and your woman just goes, I saw this man on YouTube, and he said you have to do this, and so you have to do this, right? You're not going to want to hear that. That's not the first thing you want to hear. You want to hear the first thing, baby, how was your day? Come, let me give you get what you want to get a hug or something. Or at least you just want to sit down. Like, what would be your reaction if your girl said something like that? What would you advise people?
I mean, it's not advise, but literally just from my perspective, like, if the first thing, if she just hit me through the door with a statement like that, it would be slow down, like, let me get my shit off, and it would be. I don't want to say I'd laugh at her, but I kind of, obviously I would, out front I would be like let's talk about it, blah blah blah. In the back of my head it'd be just fucking like, let me at least sit for a minute. But like there's the whole thing of, if she's seen something, like if she'd seen another video of a couple doing something that she would like us to do, that's one thing. Then we can sit down and be like, cool, what have you seen? It's literally it's just a more sensitive version of seeing someone do something in a sexual fantasy, where it's like, oh, I've seen someone use this toy. Can we try it out? Sure. But it's the same. It's not treated the same in just relationships, where it's like, oh, I've seen like my friends, my female friend's boyfriend comes home from work with flowers every day. I think that would be kind of sweet. Do you mind if we tried that? I mean, sure. I'll see if there's a way I can grab some on the way home. Like, if I work a 13-hour shift, which I do on a regular basis, and I come home and it's slipped my mind because I'm tired and I just want to come home, don't bollock me about it. But it's that conversation that needs to be made. And that's the danger with some of these videos where their advice is to be, if you don't do this, drop him. Like, what? No. Like, don't just drop anyone. Be, okay, I would like him to do this, or I would like her to do this. It works both ways, whether it's hetero, whatever.
Yeah.
You just need to talk about it. And it's especially from someone like me, I don't communicate a whole lot. When I feel something needs to be said, I'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot that goes on in my head that I don't vocalize, and that's not. That's not healthy. You need to communicate more. There are times where I do need to communicate more, and there's been days in university and work or whatnot, and I'll come home and I've had a real shitty day,
Mm-hmm.
and like my girlfriend will come along and want to talk to me, and I'll just drop silent because I'm like, my mind is drained. I can't even form the word hello in my mouth right now. Please just give me a minute. And people will look at that and be, that you're ignoring it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I just need a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is entitled to a break in their life, both mentally, physically. It's not just sit down and have a cup of tea. Sometimes people just need to shut down, and that's fine. And now we sort of have this moment of, it's the understanding within our personal relationship. This is just between us, that if it's like we've had a really long day or something, like we'll be laying in bed together and we won't say anything for hours. And to anyone else, it'd be, you're just not doing anything. You're not talking. It's like, we don't need to talk to just enjoy each other's company. And it's like, there's been times where we'll just come home from, like, because we went to the same uni, and we would sometimes finish together, and it would be lovely to go home together, and we'll be walking to the train station or something, and we'll walk like for 5 minutes and not say a word to each other, but every now and again we would just squeeze each other's hand. And that's enough as a sort of, we know in our relationship we've come to that conclusion as a couple of that just that hand squeeze is enough of, like, I'm here. You don't need to say anything if you don't want to. Like, if obviously if you do, I'm here to talk. But because there's been days where I'll come out fucking face like thunder, and she'll come up having a good day and be, tell me about your day, and it's just like, no, I don't want to tell you about my day. That's not me trying to be rude. That's just me trying to, if anything, that's me trying to not be rude, because if I know if I just say something for the sake of saying something, I'm going to say something stupid and I'm going to snap. So rather than snapping, I'll just be silent. And it's those kind of situations, those personal milestones that need to be made for each and every individual relationship. That is not something that someone can just decide for you. Like, if it was Derrick's advice, it would be, if he doesn't come out those front doors of the university and say hello and give you a massive hug and skip down the road with you, drop him. Like, to anyone else who would look at the two of us walking silently, they've had a fight, they're not happy, blah, blah, blah. Of course we are. Of course we're happy. Yeah. We just have that internal understanding, and that's not our place to, like, it's not me trying to give advice to other people, because that's not something that you can just decide for. You can give advice of personal experience, but you can't, like, I wouldn't just go online and make an advice video of oh, by the way, this is a little thing I've learned that if you're just pissed off with your day, just be silent. Don't say anything. Like, no. If anything, I would frame it in the sense of this has worked for me. If you think it may help you, then once again, have a conversation with your partner about it.
To be fair, you're not completely silent, are you? If she said, "Oh, do you want to talk about the day?" You're not ignoring her. You're saying, "No, baby,
Yeah, I'll just say I'd rather not.
Yeah.
And that's an easy way of just forming this bond of she understands where I'm at. If I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. And she knows that if I say that I don't and she probes and I snap, that's not on me because I've made that clear of I don't want to talk about it. And like there'll be parts of the day that I may like to talk about. Like if I've had a real shit day and it's either finished really well or in like if lectures have gone terribly, but in breaks we've had some really funny goofs, then I may want to talk about like 5 minutes of the day.
Yeah.
But as soon as I've finished that 5 minute chunk and I've said what I want to say, I'm silent because I don't want to talk about anything else. Like if anything, if I know that I'm going to be silent, I'll turn the attention to her. And it'll be, oh, do you want to talk about your day? I'd rather not. You take the lead. And we'll be walking and she'll tell me about her day. And when she's done and she's run out of things to say, she'll fall silent because we both said our pieces. I haven't said anything, but I've said my piece. And that's the difference. That's what a lot of people who sort of either listen to these extremist gurus or are just not necessarily experienced with long-term relationships, that they think just talking for the sake of talking is healthy. Like you've got to keep communicating at all times. Communication is key because you hear that advice all the time that the communication is key, and it is. But communication for the sake of communication isn't. And that differs in every single relationship. That if I've got nothing to say and I just want to lay in bed after a 12-hour shift and I just want to hug you, I'm just going to do that. And people can look at me and be, oh, you're so boring. You're not talking to your partner. Blah, blah. No, I'm not. But she understands why I'm not.
Yeah.
Like it's all about the bond relationship per relationship, and that's why going back to these blanket statements that he makes are so risky. Because it's like you don't understand these people. As far as Derrick is concerned, he's talking to a camera. He's not talking to. He's talking to a mobile device, a computer. He's not talking to a human being. But these people who watch these videos watch him like he's talking to them.
Yeah.
Like, no. Just because he's making eye contact with you, all he's doing is looking at a lens. He's doing the easy part. It's your job to watch these videos and use your own perspective of take what you need to take from his statement, not his statement. Like you need to take what you want to take, not what he's trying to give you.
I also just want to point out, Will has been in a long relationship. This is not something that happens outside, out of the gate.
He hasn't been in a relationship for a week. He's been with the girl for a while.
For 5 years.
Yeah, for 5 years. I mean,
yeah. So this is like a long relationship. It's not like like this happens within the first week. It's like it builds up to this.
Yeah,
it's not
and don't get me wrong. Like there are ups and downs, obviously. And this is the danger of saying, I want a perfect relationship. What does that even mean? Like, no one ever has a perfect relationship. A perfect relationship does not exist.
Yeah.
But a stable, a healthy relationship, everyone can have.
Yes. I mean, that's what I meant when I mentioned the whole Instagram reel thing, that you see these couples, playing pranks, laughing, and doing all these things with each other, and people think, oh my god, this is what their life is. My god, their life is a journey.
Yeah, they're doing this 24/7. It's like you don't see the arguments of who's taking out the trash that night. Like they give you what they want you to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the difference when like especially the danger with these sort of these gurus or these life vloggers or whatnot. Like when they say it's a daily vlog and you guys get to see my life. We see a 10-minute long video of edits of your life.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see your life. Like to watch someone's life, unless they're this rare breed of they're go getters, they're traveling 24/7. They're like people's lives. There are going to be moments in every single person's life where they are boring. No one's life is entertaining 24/7, and all these prank YouTubers and blah blah. Obviously, they're not pranking 24/7. They'll prank each other for the video, and then they'll go back to being a normal couple.
I think that's the ultimate horror movie, don't you? Just watching someone's life, just literally like, and then
Yeah,
realizing that's just
literally.
a piece of shit. It's fucking boring.
Yeah. Well, it's like you see the whole trend of a day in my life
Yeah.
of YouTubers, for example, and especially these big YouTubers where they put work into their videos.
Or
They
like
will
the daily routine thing.
yeah, it's like they will edit videos for 7-8 hours sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and their day in a life video is 5 minutes long, where they always start with like, "Hi, this is my name, this is where I live, blah blah." So my day, I start with having breakfast, then I do this, and then I do this, and then I edit for a minute or two. No, but you edit for 8 hours,
Yeah.
and people can't like just watching the video. It doesn't get across how long editing for 8 hours feels.
For real. For real.
Like people's lives are dedicated where they will sit in front of this screen and edit non-stop. But because to us it's 5 minutes, it's 5 seconds in this video, it's not so bad. Their life is so easy.
Yeah.
They're working constantly. Their life is boring. They're entertaining for 10 minutes to get the video out, but as soon as they finish and turn that camera off,
Yeah.
they're boring.
Absolutely. That's the thing, is that perception is important. That's
Hmm.
the thing. When you watch a daily life and a daily routine, them videos, vlogging, you have to be a perceptive person to watch them. You have to realize, okay, they're doing this. This is like let's say this is like a 15-minute video. I'm only seeing this 15 minutes. I'm
Yeah.
not seeing the 24 hours. Every
Yeah,
minute of the
like
24
what if you're gonna do a day in your life, I want from wake up
Mhm.
to passing out in real time.
Yeah. No.
And funnily enough, and if you give that to anyone, I guarantee anyone watching this, some of you would have just gone, "Oh, that would be so boring." Yeah, yes, it would.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to put the camera on me, and
Also,
the second I wake up, I'm going to start recording, and I'm going to live stream it until the second I fall asleep. You're going to watch me for 10 hours, sit on my ass playing video games, and then suddenly getting up for 10 minutes, making a cool video, and then what I'm going to do? Sit on my ass playing video games. That is going to be boring.
Have to realize like the day in the life videos is not their every day. It's their most optimal productive day they have.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just like
No,
a
they'll even go out
normal
their
day.
way and they'll plan it. Of course, these day in the life, it's not someone that just caught them off guard and be like, do a day in the life right now. And they go, oh, okay, well, this is what we're going to do anyway. It's, I know I'm going to do a day in the life next video, which is going to come out in a week's time. So I have a week to plan this amazing day that I want to record. And even then, most of the time, these day in the lives are already lies anyway, because it's not what they do, because they're always going to spice it up a little bit. Because let's say the whole thing of like I sit and edit for 8 hours, then I want this video to be 8 hours long.
Yeah.
I want to have to watch that in real time, and everyone's going to go, "This is really boring," because it is. Not everyone is interesting all the time. And to go back to our original topic, that's why these gurus are so dangerous sometimes, or at least sort of relationship gurus, because they look at their relationship as, no matter how unstable it is, they'll put themselves on a pedestal, and they'll say what they want to say. They'll say what they want people to hear, and people who watch the videos will take what they want to hear from what he wants to say. And there's so many. It's literally a virtual game of Chinese whispers, and it's the most unhealthy game of Chinese whispers, because then he says what he wants to say. The viewer hears what they want to hear. Then they say what they want to say to their partner. The partner hears what they want to hear from their partner. It's like,
Yeah.
stop listening to people who want to talk for the sake of talking, and just listen to the person you want to listen to, your partner.
Exactly. That's the overarching theme of it. Is the fact that people have stopped to a certain extent. People have stopped and forgotten the importance, the main crux of a relationship, which is communication. And obviously, like you said, well, it's that communication for the sake of communication, that's not the one. No, but it's communication, in terms of if there's a problem or if there's something you want to do, for healthy communication, you know. That's how I describe it. Your healthy communication, which is if there's a problem or something happened, then you talk about it. If there's I don't know, if there's something you want to do or you want to go out or you want to eat, then you talk about it. You don't sit there and expect person A or person B to know. You know,
Read my mind.
Yeah, literally. It's like, we're not psychic.
yeah. Well, to kind of stay on the theme of this, but move it from Derek. I need a piece of shit. Move it from Derek. Let's go on to what I mentioned
Derek.
earlier. Let's go on.
So in conclusion, Derek is a piece of shit.
Yeah. In conclusion, Derek's a piece
Right.
of shit.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah. And also, ladies, please stop watching. No, ladies,
Yep.
please stop watching these gurus. Ladies, remember one golden rule about all of this is that if you see a man or if you hear a man talk shit about all men, then that one man is the biggest piece of shit you're ever gonna know. Plain and simple.
That's like, if
In
you see a
fact,
man
men call
spouting
themselves
shit,
feminists.
if you see a man talking like this, don't listen to them. Listen to me.
Yes.
Well, listen
Eh,
to Lisa.
Look at your man. Now look at me. Look at your man. Now look at me. I'm on a horse.
Yeah. No, but to kind of move it away from that piece of shit, let's go on to a whole group of pieces of shit. So I mentioned earlier about Twitch streamers.
Oh god, what's this gonna be?
I was just waiting for it to be like, let's go to a group of pieces of shit. So, men.
So basically, Hitler and Stalin and all of these guys have started streaming.
Oh, hell yeah. Hitler stream. I tune into that.
Ooh, ooh.
What did you say?
Everyone stay quiet. No, but all jokes aside, it's like what I mentioned earlier of what were you gonna say?
No, go for it.
What is it, Hayden? Go on, Hayden.
Speak your mind, Sweetheart. Go on.
Who the fuck is Hayden?
Alright, so what was I saying? Yeah, so Twitch streamers, it's the same goes for men who watch Twitch streamers. You see these ladies who have, anime shit and gaming shit behind them, and these guys think, oh yeah, these women are single. I'm gonna give her like $1,000. She's mine. And again, that's an image. She wants you to see all that. You get her. She knows who her audience is.
Yeah.
It isn't done by mistake or anything. She puts those things a lot of the time, not always. There are some streamers genuinely have that shit, but when it's a lot, yeah. Let's say it's like, a genuine female streamer. She might have a Pikachu here or something Dragon Ball there, or maybe a game somewhere there. That's alright. But when it's like filled up with Pikachu shit and filled up with fucking Pokemon, this, that, and the other, and then she's wearing very tight but fan clothing. she knows who her demographic is. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. I think there are obviously some. There are both men and women out there who are obviously massive, like anime fans, and there are even women out there whose room will just be smothered in merch, and they'd legitimately be fans. Obviously, they're not a myth. The women like games too, funnily
Yeah.
enough. Um, but yeah, there are absolutely some both men and women who just take a specific point of your comment. They know what they're doing, and there are it's when there are people out there who, like, to a certain extent, it's like, can you blame them? Where it's like, if you, like, I would do the same if I was an attractive, ripped dude, and all I had to do was stand in front of a camera and jiggle my pecs around for an hour, and I would get flooded with a worrying amount of money. I would absolutely do that. But
Yeah.
there's a point where you can only fault these streamers so much, where, and then eventually the blame becomes the viewer, where it's like, there are people out there who will literally give, like, their mortgage money to streamers, and, like, they'll donate thousands of pounds or dollars to these streamers for their Snapchat.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Like, what are you gaining from this situation? It's like there's some streamers out there that, like, I watch a lot of Twitch, but I have never subscribed to anyone. The only subscription I've ever had was to a streamer called Mr. Sark, who I'm a long time fan of, and even then that was a gifted sub. That was free. I've never spent money on Twitch, but there's some people out there, and you'll watch these, like, you can go on YouTube and look up compilations of donation trains,
Oof. Yeah.
and it's like one of the most famous and popular streamers ever is a guy called Soda Poppin. He's a World of Warcraft streamer,
Mm-hmm.
and he's had some of the biggest donations of literally tens of thousands of pounds in single donations. And, like, of course, that like, as soon as two viewers get into a competition, blah blah blah, and, like, by the end of the day, this dude has literally made hundreds of thousands of pounds from playing World of Warcraft and just getting donated for nothing,
Mm-hmm.
for literally for no incentive. And then you get to these sort of the Twitch thoughts, as people call them. Like, these guys will donate a ridiculous amount of money for acknowledgement, and they'll be like, if you donate more than £10, I'll write your name in my cleavage. Oh, absolutely, yes, Queen. I consider it done. Like, what? Like, that's what the internet's for. Just Google certain things, and you'll get more action than that. You don't need to spend your life's earnings for acknowledgement. And even then, like, it's not even you. It's a gamer tag. It's
Google Tillies.
yeah, and even then, like, they don't know you. It's not like it's in person where you're giving £100 to someone, and they're looking you in the eye, they're giving you a hug, they're thanking you. They don't know you. And, like, they'll give you this massive donation, and it'll just be, thanks so much, XX Zombie Slayer XX, love you, and that's it. But of course, the guy who's donated will be, my life is complete. I feel so fulfilled. This woman's noticed me. Like, get a grip, man.
I mean, I mean, there's plenty of famous, quote unquote, Twitch thoughts, but the one that kind of shined through recently in the recent year or two was OK Boomer Girl. I can't remember her name. I think it was Nico Look, right? But she did a song called OK Boomer, um, or like some sort of meme called OK Boomer, and then shit exploded because she's a cute looking girl. Like I'll give her that. She is a good looking girl. She's a cute girl, but the problem then became is when people started confronting her because it turned out I think it turned out that she had a boyfriend, but she never said she had a boyfriend. She kind of kept that DL, right? But it turned out she had a boyfriend, right? And obviously the
Oh,
same,
Nico Lol.
yeah,
Yeah, I've just
Nico
looked
Love,
up on YouTube.
yeah, her. Um, she had what do you call it? She had a boyfriend, but she kept that DL before. So DL meaning down low. She kept that on the
Hmm.
down low before, and while it was on the down low, so many people flocked to her like a herd of chickens. And they were kind of like, oh, she's so cute. Oh, okay, Boomer. Oh, she's with the meme. She's with the meme. And they were going crazy and whatnot. And as soon as that happened, she was getting money, attention. At some point, she probably realized, right, I don't need to drop my boyfriend right now. Um, you know, and then I think it was like I think it was literally a week or two, maybe even a month later, where either she or someone dropped that she had a boyfriend, and all of a sudden, all the men that flocked to her like a herd of chickens turned into fucking vultures and started fucking pecking at her and started taking away all the money and started telling everyone to ban her and shit like that. Now, don't get me wrong, like she did what she did, right? And maybe some of the men might have felt deceived, but that's not her problem though. That's your problem because you thought she wouldn't have had a boyfriend. She didn't say she did,
Yeah, as
you know.
far as which is concerned, like that's just smart business.
Yeah,
Like she's put a product out there, and you've
yeah,
taken what you want to take from it, and you've acted on it. Like fucking, that's you, bruh.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So now then it became a whole thing of oh fuck this bitch and blah 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 and all of this stuff, right? Right. So then
That's
They were
bitch.
like, what?
so then it became a whole thing. But then she doesn't help the situation because she was like, oh yeah, simping is king. Like basically being a king. Sorry, being a simp
Greatest
means you're a
simpers.
king. Yeah,
Yeah.
simping is a king move. Like no, honey, no, no, no. You can say that because you're getting money, but all you're doing is you're creating a situation where some unhealthy, mentally unstable guy is gonna think, oh yeah, you're right, I'm gonna continue simping for you, and then eventually that's gonna become even worse and even worse, and then you're gonna have a situation where you're kidnapped by some crazy lunatic, you
Hmm.
know. And this is the thing is that women like her end up defending that behavior. Obviously she's gaining stuff for it, but the problem is people aren't realizing how problematic simping can be. Funny enough, even when women doing it, women doing it, going back to our original topic of Derrick, because let's be real, those women were simping. They were simping for him,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where the problem began. So here it's the same thing where the problem then begins, um, you know, that you're allowing this behavior and you don't know what kind of health problems the person might have. You're saying it's okay, and it's okay until, you're in a situation. I mean, I personally think anyone that donates over a certain amount, you gotta have something wrong with you. No offense, I don't care if it's a man or
Mm.
a woman, you gotta have something wrong with you. You can't be giving away, like you said, your mortgage money and shit like that. Baby girl, baby boy, you got something wrong with you.
Yeah. That's just a sort of lack of
I f-
grasp on reality.
I feel like this entire I don't think you guys have heard this song. It's a song by a YouTuber called Wilbert Soot. And
Okay.
he's released a song kind of recently called Your New Boyfriend. And literally one of the lines is he's in your bed, but I'm in your Twitch chat. It's an entire
Yeah,
song
yeah.
how a guy like is simping for this girl and shit like that. Like it just sums up the entire situation perfectly and how it can get out of control and shit like that
Mm-hmm.
in a comedic way. So like, yeah, it's just
Yeah, well, that's like when it's sort of healthily understood. Of like, obviously that's done in a satire way, but unfortunately there is very real meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the best part about the song is like people make jokes about it, but everyone knows that there is some real shit behind
Yeah,
what
it's unfortunately based on
like,
reality. It's like it's interesting looking at the comments of the original video on YouTube, and like it's obviously 99% men, but none of them are simping. Every single comment is like, I can't believe this video caused a simp war until she admitted to having a boyfriend. Stop stop watching this cringe Soul Jovi movie out in the field. Like the entire comment section is just goofing on themselves. And it's like this kind of attention for this video,
but you
it's great. Like they're all it's all satire, they're all having a laugh with each other. That's fine. It's when one guy sort of joins into the comment section is, oh no, she's queen. Like, you don't understand. She said my gamer tag during her stream.
I like to think half the guys being like, this is funny is like, yeah, I didn't do that.
I
I
mean,
didn't donate my money to her.
there's literally a comment about that. Well, this guy said cute girl posts video dancing to J-pop, goes viral because she's cute. Then she admits she has a boyfriend and says simping is fine, in brackets, rational self-interest on her part. Fanboys get all butthurt, whine, and pretend I never thought she was cute to this day. Shake my head.
Yeah, I mean, I can't lie. I mean, I'm not into that simping shit. I've seen pictures of her, I've seen videos of her. She is very cute looking. She does have a cute look to her. So I'm not surprised that so many weirdos have flocked to her. Like, you get what I mean? But, yeah, that simp war was fucking funny, man. They're all fighting each other and shit. But, I mean,
And what
there's
you're
nothing
saying
wrong with
is
great
you
music.
donate money to her.
Huh?
What you're saying is you donated money to her.
No. I would much rather rip out my own kidneys than do that.
I think you donate to her.
No!
I think you already have.
No.
I think you're deflecting.
No.
Yeah, I definitely think it is.
No. Okay,
Yeah, like
guys.
Yeah,
Guys.
yeah,
Come on.
he's a guy that left the comment.
Guys. I love it.
I like this comment of people.
Leave
Wait,
your hands. Leave your
oh
hands.
yeah, I heard you. Just acknowledged it. So this comment here of people be like, "Why did this blow up? Me, hormones, belly shirt and high skirt combo, brown eyes. You kidding? She knows how to manipulate the simp populi. All you have to do is be close to an anime intro and you're in."
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, true.
Well, sometimes those kind of guys deserve it as well. It's like, you had that shit come. That's why I don't chastise women like that too much. Because at the end of the day, it's a business model. It's that woman that was, I can't remember her name, who sold her bath water. And people were buying it.
Belle Delphine.
Yeah.
Oh, Delphine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking hell, that was a fucking ride and a half.
That's the thing.
like
People were buying
well,
it.
absolutely. Like props to her. Honestly,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't hate her for that.
like she is a businesswoman of all businesswomen. She
had
ran an
made-
empire on her bathwater. She made bucks from that. Like that's good business.
You know she's British, so she had made Queen Elizabeth proud of that shit.
Yeah. I bet even Lizzie's at home laying in bed with her own cup of bathwater on her bedside table. Yeah. But then again, that goes even further of like we say oh props to her blah blah, but then it's like she also has a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is she
then
married?
yeah, I think she might be married.
I don't know the law that deep. I'm gonna leave this part.
For Joe doesn't know the law.
The law. I was on my research.
Fucking
Yeah,
I
law,
don't know this
Jesus
arc
Christ.
right now, so you guys know more about the arc.
yeah,
You guys
we're
have
on
read
like
the
season
manga.
2. But yeah, it's like it goes back to the thing of like we feel like she's a businesswoman, but how do we feel about him?
I think he's pathetic. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, that's
Like
my opinion
to
on
a
him.
certain extent, like
I mean, to be fair though, like
yeah,
he's probably getting a healthy cut. Like,
Is he though? Do we know that? Do we know that? Like,
but
do we
like we
and
we can we can assume and we can hope that he's getting something out of it. But it's the whole thing. It's the same argument as like the about like porn stars partners.
Mm-hmm.
Like that blows my mind. Of
Yeah.
how can you know that your partner is doing this on a daily basis? They're literally the definition of like, yeah, go to your work and fuck this random dude. But as long as you come home to me, that's
it's,
fine.
That's not.
Like
just
how can
imagine the
you be okay
conversation.
with that?
Just imagine the conversation as like, oh, honey, how's work today? Oh, I just got railed by Steve.
Yeah,
Just the
got the
normal.
biggest dick of my life, like massive, bigger than yours. Oh, that's great, sweetie. Time to go to bed. Like, I
That's
don't
kind of yeah.
understand how you can be like, and to a certain, and then especially with this new age wave of things like OnlyFans,
Mm-hmm.
like some people are making money innocently, some people are doing it less innocently,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the whole thing of like there's always a justification of oh yeah, but it's like just a business and it's just photos. Think I don't care if it's just photos. Like that's still weird.
Yeah.
Like we've jokingly discussed about it. Obviously, my girlfriend knows about OnlyFans, has had no part in it, but obviously we know about it.
There's no
Um,
part. I swear.
My girlfriend has an OnlyFans. You could get it at the
yeah,
link down
shout
below.
out. But we've had a sort of semi jokingly discussion of like, would either of us do it? And I made it clear of no, that's fucking weird. Like even if it was just like feet pics,
Mm.
like no, you're no matter what part of you you're posting, your intent is to show yourself off, and there are going to be people out there who, no matter what part you show off, are going to find attractive and are going to jerk to.
Yeah.
And like no, like that's weird. No matter even if it's just a picture of my pinky toe, I don't care.
No, I
Like
agree with you.
it's the intent behind that, and it goes even far of like how can you justify porn stars? Oh, it's just work. Like there's no love behind it. Oh, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. That's no.
Well, I see it as cheating, regardless if it's part of your job. Since when have we worked the whole meaning of cheating? We can't.
Yeah.
Cheating used to have just a simple definition of if you kiss someone else, if you are extremely flirtatious with someone else, or if you fucking dance, extremely inappropriately, or even if the typical if you fuck someone else, you're cheating. Do you understand? If you do
Hmm.
any form of inappropriate touching or kissing, you're cheating. Now cheating has become this whole thing of yeah, but you know, she
Like
sucked
if
his
my
dick, but
partner's
did she?
okay with it, then it's not. Like it still kind of is.
Yeah, it still kind of is, and it's not him. It's not the boyfriend. It's not
Yeah.
the person she kind of wanted to be with. It's someone else. It's someone else.
Hmm.
So I don't understand why people try and just. It's like a recent argument was, yeah, but she sucked his dick, but she didn't fuck him. She just sucked his dick. Like, bro, what? What is the justification? Are you kidding me right now? You know,
Hmm.
she better not be angry if I
Well,
fingered her
that
butt.
just goes down to the definition of like what sex is. Like, you know what I mean? Like people have like changed the definition of what sex is so much that apparently giving a blowjob isn't sex anymore.
Yeah, apparently it's just a part of foreplay. Well, no, honey, no.
Yeah. No.
Foreplay is kissing and touching, but it ain't full on having your mouth somewhere where you know. But the thing is, the original thing is that when you're right there.
I just thought the phrase having your mouth in the splash, so I don't know why.
you know, But going back to the original thing is that at the end of the day, I agree. Even if your girl has OnlyFans or if your girl's on Twitch showing it off, how can you be comfortable with that? You can say, "Oh, but I'm getting a cut." You can say what you want, but at the end of the day, other men, and this is my opinion, and I don't know if you guys agree, but this is my opinion to anyone watching, right? My opinion is other men are watching her do all this. Other men are jacking off to her doing all this. Other men are thinking about it, still, doing whatever they can. And she, in a way, is putting herself in harm's way to a certain extent. So how can you, as her boyfriend, and I'm only speaking from a man's perspective because I'm a man, right? But how can you, as a boyfriend, be okay with it? I'm not saying control her life and whatnot. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, from a man to man, how can you be comfortable with your girl doing such a thing? I wouldn't. I'd straight up my girl to okay. I have a girl, unfortunately, but if I didn't have one, if she came up and said, "Honey, can I do OnlyFans?" I'll do like feet pics. I'll be like, "Yeah, you can." Right after we break up,
Mhm.
that's something I would legitimately say. Like, obviously, some men are okay with it, fine, right? But I'm always gonna be of the opinion of no, absolutely not. I'm a little bit of a traditionalist. I know a lot of people are gonna frown at that, but I truly believe, and I'm speaking as a heterosexual, I truly believe that what stays between a man and a woman should stay between a man and a woman. Those are her boobs, yeah, but only I get to look at them because I'm her boyfriend. Like, you get what I mean? Or her pussy or
Mhm.
whatnot, or her ass, whatnot. What about you, our friend Hayden, who they, who's of the LGBT persuasion?
Why the fuck do you say it like that?
The
First of all, you use my real
LGBT.
name, and then you just say LGBT persuasion. Like I've just been groomed into it. Like what the fuck?
Yep. Since
No, I'm
yesterday,
yeah. No, I'm like in the same boat, really. Like I don't want other people staring at my fucking girlfriend in that way, or guy boyfriend. Like I don't know.
Mhm,
Like, I don't want them staring at that.
mhm,
see, here's a question for you then, because it goes going back with the argument of uh, like a man can walk around like a man's chest is viewed differently to a woman's chest.
mhm,
So, as someone who have had male partners, or at least sort of
mhm. Yeah.
relationships with a man, would you see any differently if he posted if your boyfriend posted a shirtless video to than if your girlfriend posted a topless video with a bra on? Would you see them, or even further, like his nipple, her nipples, like to the same level of nudity? Would you see them differently?
But
That's
that's
a good
like
question.
a question based on like the different context. Like you said, a woman's chest, it by society is viewed differently to a man's chest.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
There's multiple layers to it, but it comes down to like the fuck are they doing in the video? If they're like showing their body off, I'm gonna be like it's good to have body positivity. Like
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
my girlfriend, say I have a girlfriend, she posts a nice picture of her in a bikini on the beach, like on her Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
A guy boyfriend posts like a picture of himself on the beach. That's fine because that's just normal. That's part of the course. But if they actively like post a video of them showing them off purposely, like showing off their body and like flaunting it to the camera, I'm gonna be like a bit uncomfortable with that because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, no,
It's the context.
yeah, it's like, are you doing this for attention? Like, is my attention not enough in a way, if you know what I mean? Like, you're hoping to get comments of people saying, oh yeah, you look so good, I want to be with you. Like it's a context behind why they're posting that video in the first place.
Mhm.
Like
Fair enough.
as I'm gonna be selfish in a relationship. I'm with you because I want to be with you. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
selfish like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I expect them to be the same to me as well.
Yeah,
It's not
I'm in the same.
I can do it, you can't. It's like I expect to be treated how I treat you in a way. 'Cause like I said, this is a two-way street in a relationship.
Yeah, so I'm the same in the sense of like, if we're together, no one else.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like obviously friends are one thing, but it's like as soon as a friend starts trying to be more, it's like no. But yeah, it's I'm in the sense of like, obviously me and my girlfriend have gone to pools and she's worn a bikini, I've worn my trunks, whatever. And there's been times where even she's noticed girls looking at me.
Mhm.
And obviously that makes her uncomfortable. As far as I'm concerned, it's like in my head at the time, I'm not noticing anything because I'm in my trunks. In the context, I'm just going swimming. I'm in a pool.
Oh, you looker.
But yeah, it's like there's been times where I remember one occasion specifically was there was a hot tub at one of the resorts we were at, and she was laying on a beach chair next to the pool, and I was in it, and there was a couple of people. I think it was two girls in the hot tub. It was pretty big, so it wasn't like we were sitting next to each other. Like I wouldn't have done that in the first place. But I just had my arms out to the side, like on the edge of the pool. Because it's a hot tub, so I stick my arms out to try and relegate my temperature a little bit so I don't overheat. And I remember when I got out of the pool and sat next to her again. No, I wasn't at all. But I remember I got out of the pool and sat next to her, and she was like those two were looking at you, by the way. I was like, right, okay. What do you want me to do? Like, sorry, I guess for them looking at me. It's like there's to a certain point, like that's not on me. Like I'm just sitting there, and if people want to look at me, like at the end of the day, I'm flattered. Like I'll take the compliment. But and then it's just it would be the exact same the other way around. That if people were looking at my girlfriend, it would be like, like that's making me uncomfortable. The people are checking you out. There's to a certain extent, there's the whole level of I obviously think my girlfriend is attractive, so I wouldn't be surprised if other guys thought she was attractive because I think she's attractive and she's an attractive woman. But there's a difference between like he slash she is attractive, and then there's I'm checking you out attractive. Like you could walk past someone on the street and just sort of catch a glimpse of someone who sort of stands out of like, damn, you're actually a really attractive human being. That's not like, oh, well, I'm checking you out and I'm going to come talk to you, blah blah. Like I appreciate a good looking man and I appreciate a good looking woman. So it's like it's the idea of you can look but don't touch. But it's like
it's also about acting as well, like how your partner's acting in that situation. If they notice they're being looked, they start flaunting it.
Yeah, so if she commented to me and said that I was doing that, and I went back into the hot tub and I was just like, oh yeah, enjoying my time in the hot tub, and I was flexing, then I'm just an arsehole. And it'd be the same with her, of like there's two dudes next to the pool are looking at you. And she just happened to keep swimming towards that end of the pool. I'd be like, "No, you're taking the piss. You're just being a dick." But it's like you can't help people looking, but it's when you act upon it is the difference. Where it's like other guys have seen her in a bikini. Obviously, it's a public pool. But if she suddenly turned the phone on, stood in front of a camera, wore the exact same bikini, and started dancing in the camera, no. Because now you're going out of your way to intentionally flaunt rather than being in the context of a public pool where we have the understanding that we're going to see each other.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm sort of in the same context as you, Leafy, of like it's context. It depends on what you do, and that's where these sort of thoughts come from.
Okay, it goes
Where it's like
back to the.
if you want to wear a bikini, just go into the pool. Like one of the most interesting things as well is things like where sort of blurs the lines a little bit are people who stream themselves in a pool, because it's like it's acceptable because they're at the pool, but they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of
People who
blurs the
what?
line a bit.
What?
People who stream themselves at swimming
Oh,
pools.
right, stream themselves. Okay.
And it's like it blurs the line of it's perfectly fine what you're doing and what you're wearing because you're at a swimming pool, but you also know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's those situations where it's a bit difficult to judge, where it's like you put the phone away, you put the camera away, and it's absolutely fine because you're in the swimming pool with your swimming costume on. But then as soon as you go, I'm going to put this camera directly on me with thousands of people watching me in a bikini, that's when it becomes not okay.
Yeah.
Because the context has suddenly shifted.
Well, it goes back to the point that I made, where it's like it's not just all black and white. You can't just be like, "Oh, what's your opinion on this?" I need a straight answer, because it changes with many different aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can have a base like feeling of it, like this is like the basis of it, but like it's far more complicated, and you won't really know how you feel until you're in that situation.
Yeah, but also, it's just sort of to play devil's advocate for the sake of the other opposite gender as well, so it's balanced. Is things like working out streams, where I've seen on Twitch where guys will literally record themselves at a gym, or even a home gym, and they'll be shirtless and they'll be weightlifting, blah blah blah. It's like if my boyfriend was doing that, and there was noticeably a large crowd of females in the chat watching it purely to watch him work out, I'd be like, no, going to the gym is one thing. You're trying to better yourself. Like, that's great. But when it becomes less about bettering yourself and more of just look at me flex, if that was my boyfriend, it'd be no. So it's the same either way.
No, I would
It's all
completely
about
agree.
context.
I would completely agree
Yeah.
with a woman, like if she doesn't want her man doing that, I would agree. I would side with a woman, be like, yeah, well, clearly your woman had, tried to talk to you about it, and if you fail to register her opinion and respect it, then you're just being a cunt.
Yeah.
You know, this kind of can meld into the next part of the thing, same thing, but in term now I want to talk about in general about sex with your partner and how open you can be about
I wouldn't know.
what you do.
I don't know why I said that.
Leafy,
I'm
you've
so
done it
tired.
with both men and women, so all right. But I mean, what I'm trying to get at is
That was the weirdest insult ever. Like,
but what I'm trying to say is that how open do you think, or how open do you feel comfortable about it? Like, I know some couples who straight up say, "Yeah, I did this to my man," or "I did this to my girl last night," and then I flip her over like a hamburger and whatnot, right? But me personally, I
Oh,
think,
what? Like describing things?
yeah, like, would
Right.
you? Cause obviously, me personally, let's say, cause obviously, a lot of viewers don't know I'm Muslim, right? And there's like an unwritten code between Muslims. It's that, and it's a good one, to be fair. I mean, I view it as a good one. It's that when two Muslims marry each other, male and female, we're not open about what we do in the confines of the bedroom.
Mhm.
Obviously, religious reasons, and we don't want to look bad and whatnot. But another reason that plays into it because it's kind of like that. Heaven forbid me for saying this, God forbid me, but it's kind of like that thing. We grow up thinking, and I'm only talking from a religious sense, so if any of you are religious, you can kind of share it as well. But me personally, you kind of grow up in an environment of, oh, you better not think about this one thing. You better not. And then when I got to my teenage years, that's when my parents started talking to me. I mean, I was quite lucky because I had open parents, right? Who were open. And obviously, being a Muslim in the UK, you can't live like a fucking Saudi now, can you? Like shielded away and whatnot. You live in the UK, it's an open society, so you have to be open about certain things. And my parents, thankfully, were. And it's kind of like that thing where I got to my teenage years, and that's when my parents started talking to me about, the birds and the bees. you know, to a certain extent. Obviously, still Muslim household. We're not going to go into too much detail. And obviously, it's always been that promiscuous type thing where it's like, oh, when I get to get married, I can't wait to do it with my wife, you know. And we kind of keep it a secret for that reason because we grow up learning about it somewhat in secret. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you two might disagree with me, but I tend to think that when you keep it a secret, I don't know why, but it's like it adds the oomph. Like I don't know. For me personally, it's kind of like, oh, they don't know what I do to her or what.
It becomes more precious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, I'm similar. Where it's like I won't go fucking gallivanting around telling stories. Like if again context, if it's within, if it's with friends, if it was close friends, then I would be slightly more open, but I wouldn't like I find people that goes into like the depth of like, yeah, like I lifted our legs up and I did this and this, and like I don't need to know that. like great, I'm glad you had a good night, but like all right. So I would be the same of like, if people like my friends, my family, her friends, her family know that we do it, and that's as much as they need to know. If it's within the sort of confines of friendship, and especially if someone is uncomfortable or inexperienced and may need advice, then it would be like, these are the do's and don'ts that I can give from experience, but I wouldn't go as like, oh yeah, like I grabbed the hair and I pulled it back and I did this and I did this, and I'm like, like that's no. There's two reasons for that. For A, that's for me and her to know, and B, this is more of a selfish reason and more of a I guess shallow reason of, the more I explain to someone what I do to my girlfriend, the easier it is for them to imagine them doing it.
Beautifully put.
So I'm in the mindset of, I'm going to give you as little information as possible to make it as difficult as possible for you to imagine. If I give you into the minute details, I'm painting this picture for you to replace me with you.
But what you do in that situation is only describe yourself. So
so I whipped out my massive dick.
My 20-inch cock.
Yeah. Like that. So those are the reasons why I personally don't. I don't want to be sharing it, but I also don't want you to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
Private shit should just stay private. Private shit should stay private. Like, obviously, you're talking about friends and you're like, oh yeah, you smashed? Yeah, smashed. Cool. I'm gonna go into like excruciating detail of like what the fucking weather was like.
So, like people know what happens. Like,
yeah, like people know what sex.
Yeah, it's like I say my friends and family, her friends and family know it happens, but like that's it. That's all it needs to be. That's all that needs to be said. If like one of you guys like, hypothetically were still a virgin and came up to me of like I'm with this chick.
What's
Like
sex like?
literally, I'm with this chick for the first like I'm just getting closer to this girl and things may happen and I'm kind of nervous. Then if it brings you comfort, I may be like, so this from my experience, this is what a girl may like. Like don't do this. Like don't push too far. Don't go past their limits. Don't make them uncomfortable. Or what? I won't be like, oh, so you don't use this finger and then put it in this direction. Like,
Don't put your pinky in her nose.
yeah,
What for
yeah,
me is basically you just ask the girl what she likes and then just take directions from there.
I think that's fair. I
yeah.
think
If the girl's
Honestly,
having a good
the
time,
best way to
you're
understand, yeah, the best
definitely
advice,
gonna be having a good time.
yeah, if you want to know how to play the woman, ask the woman.
yeah, like
Pretty much.
Like it's not that. It's like
It's
like
not
literally,
frowned upon. And
yeah. It's literally it's not like being a loser for asking a girl for advice.
Yeah.
It's
through
it's
my experience,
selflessness.
they also find that kind of like hot. They're like, oh, he wants to actually.
Yeah. He actually cared about me enough
Yeah.
to ask me what.
Yeah, I'm not just this sack of meat that he's using to get off. It's like he's actually looking at me and thinking of me. Like, yeah, that's that. Like to sort of go again with sort of to use an example, but a very loose one in the sense of, as I said, I don't go too far. Like there's certain things that I'll just catch myself doing during it, and after we're done, she'll tell me of like that was actually kind of that was kind of hot. Like that was cool, and then I'll remember of like okay, so she's told me she's let me know that she's liked it,
Yeah, man.
so that I can mix things up and do something and make her feel better again in the future.
Yeah.
That's not me being like I don't know what I'm doing. It's I've done a good job, but she's communicating with me of how we can both do better.
Yeah.
Also, it's not that hard. It's generally not.
I mean, at a base level, no, because we're just biologically programmed to enjoy it.
Base level sex. It's not that hard. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
people work as like this.
you put your penis in and
You
you move
cannot fuck
around.
up. Yeah, pretty
As
much.
long as you get it, just get it in the right hole and you're set. That's
Yeah,
all you need to do.
You just need to get it in there and then you go from there. That's it.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
much.
then you just get it in and you just hip thrust.
And then
At the base level, yeah, you be. Yeah.
Oh no.
I actually knew people who thought that's what ejaculating was when they were young. That they just peed.
To be fair, I mean,
pee is stored in the balls, right?
Yeah, it's just a sack of pee. That's why if you squeeze it, it's like a hot air balloon. It's just like it's a hot water balloon. You slosh it around yourself.
No.
Yeah. You just hear like that's why it's so dangerous for a guy to get too hot because their nuts will start boiling.
God. Jesus.
You're just sitting in class and your nuts are sweating. You just hear. It's like, oh shit, sorry, my nuts are boiling.
Water.
Yeah, my nut water is boiling.
This is not a conversation I want to be having at 4 in the morning.
What, boiling nut
Jesus
water? Why
Christ.
not?
Because it's boiling fucking nut water.
I don't see Derek talking about boiling nut water.
Yeah, that's why Derrick Jaxn failed.
Where's his advice?
It was just sex
And you
advice.
Derek, we need your nut water advice.
Oh.
And you guys, if you want to know more about boiling nut water, you can just buy our book. Link in the description below. We go into detail about
If your
it.
man nutsack do not boil,
If
leave him.
your man doesn't pee on you while you have sex, drop him.
Oh. Well, to be fair, I have peed on a bitch before, so
Nice.
yeah. She was a goth girl as well.
Oh,
Oh. Hayden, fam. Hayden.
Any goth girls watching this is only like, oh.
And Leafy, go on, tell us what you think, Leafy, man. God, come on, putting you on the spot here, mate. You fucking cunt.
What I think about what?
I don't know.
What I think about what?
The nut water.
Oh no! Oh, it's hot.
Oh, God. But going back to the topic at hand.
Such a fantastic guy.
He's so informative, isn't he?
Oh, so the input. He's a fountain of
I thought
knowledge.
this was Derrick.
I'm obviously
Jesus.
a valuable member of this.
We should be paying him for his input. Jesus.
Have you got a book, by the way?
Yeah.
I'm getting paid for this. What?
Yeah, just plug your book real quick.
Plug your book real quick. Go on, hey, Leafy, go on.
I mean, I was going to write it, but it just turned out I was dyslexic, so it was just random letters everywhere.
That's not how dyslexia works, but sure.
I know.
This conversation, but reeling it back. But going back to sex, it's no, but some couples do. Well, I say couple. It's normally the man. Well, certain men do get off on it where it's like they come up. It's like, yeah, last night, yeah, I fucking met up with Jessica. And I met up with this bird, yeah, her name was Jessica. And I put my cock inside her, yeah, and I pulled her hair back, and then they start doing the moans and everything.
You're already joking, and I'm uncomfortable listening to it.
Well, exactly. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I don't want to know.
Like, you're like that meme, that African guy, and then it's like, okay.
Okay.
Like, you know what? Then they go into so much detail. It's like, then that's when I doubt it. I can't lie. So when a guy,
it's when they're trying to compensate.
Yeah. Then when a guy comes up to me like, yeah, this is what I did, and you know, bro, you don't understand. It's like, no, I do understand. You're talking shit.
Yes, I do. I have sex too, but what you had wasn't sex.
What you had was a porn session, mate. You watched porn, and you're describing a video to me.
Did you fix her pipes? She didn't have enough money to pay you.
Oh, okay. What next? She suddenly started taking her clothes off. Oh,
okay. Yeah. What next? And then we just then a stepsister walked in.
And she got stuck in the washing machine.
She tripped and got her hand stuck in the sink.
So you go, and we no, I don't. What did you do? Oh, yeah.
Yes. They run out. It's like, come on, you know, don't you? Like, no, explain. Come on.
Yeah, that's when you gotta catch them. That's when you're like, no, what you do?
Yeah, continue. I'm intrigued.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, you know how we do. Yeah, that. you know how we do.
Yeah, they start giving that shoulder bar.
Start slapping you in the chest. Like, yeah, come on, guy.
And then grope your asshole.
Just the finger in. Yeah, no.
Start jerking you off.
Just does the
in the street. You know. Oh man, chill.
Two heterosexuals talking about sucking dick in the middle of the street.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Is there something wrong with that?
Yes.
You know. And then what I'm doing to you right now, mate. That's what she was doing.
Yeah. So the equivalent of like point at this teddy bear where he touched you, like point on me where you touched her.
Oh god. But God, whenever we talk about sex, this is what fucking happens, doesn't it?
We're lads. What do you expect?
I guess the women are right about one thing.
What's that?
Yeah, are you going to answer?
Nah,
that's the statement. That's the statement. Women are right about one thing.
Yeah, women are right about one thing, and only the the female audience will know.
Yeah. We agree with you. We agree with you, women.
That's how you. That's how you win an argument, or that's how you like stop an argument. You just don't say anything. You somewhat make a statement, and then you stop, and then you go. You know what I'm talking about. You flip it on women like the way women flip it on you, where they're just like, I know what you did. I know, baby. What did I do? I know what you.
Yeah.
You know what you did.
Ah,
You know
fucking
what you did.
pisses me off when people do. It's like when people come up to me like, "Oh, I just heard this really juicy secret about you." Oh, what? I don't know. I'll tell you later. No,
Oh
tell me
my
now. Tell me
days.
right fucking now.
My fucking word, fam. People like that should be executed under the law.
Bitch, I fucking hate it. I've just heard this rumor about you. All right, what is it? Ah, don't worry about it.
Oh,
Like, come on, man. Can't do it like that.
well, you'll do me like that.
Come on.
Come on. But
Man.
in general, I would say in general that even when it comes to sex, I mean, this whole fucking podcast turned out to be a whole relationship. But by working
Yeah, plot
on
twist. We're the gurus.
yeah, we're the real gurus because we're grounded on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Derek is grounded on
Yeah.
Derrick land. Like this guy.
I feel like that guy's actually just slowly going insane by the videos that he's posted.
Before
He's losing it.
well, I have a question. Right? I have a question.
Okay.
If you had to put Derek in the class of mentor, would you say he's a sociopath or what? Like,
Narcissistic.
Yeah. I don't know why people
Yeah.
automatically go to the default. He's psychopathic. Oh, he's sociopathic. No, he's not. He's narcissistic and he's full of himself.
Yeah, someone can just be an asshole without having a problem. Like, if anything, I feel like giving someone the title of a mental health issue, and the many that are out there, is an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, he's just got some sociopathic tendencies. No, he doesn't. He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, don't defend him by giving him the mental health excuse that way out. He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing of in court, you have to prove that you're sane to be proven guilty of your crime. Like, the act is done. Murder is murder. Your intent behind it is a different argument. You can be insane or not, but murder is murder, and your punishment should be the same no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's the same with him. Of like, no, he's not sociopath. Like, oh, he can't help it. He's just got issues. No, he's just an ass.
Well, wait, some women are saying, oh, but he might be a sex addict. No, I personally don't believe in sex addict because who doesn't love sex?
Yeah. If you don't like it, you haven't got it good enough.
Just like
or either that or you're asexual or something like that.
They have sex to the point where they just don't enjoy it. They're just too busy. Like, it's more of a control thing, I think, sex addicts. I don't know. I'm not like trained in it, but I feel like it's more of a control thing rather than a pleasure thing.
I think it's a pleasure thing, not sex addict. I just think anyone in that kind of position, he's a good-looking guy and he has a lot of followers, and it's confirmed he fucks his subscribers. I mean, if you have a whole heap of women, watching you or following you, a guy like that will take advantage of that. It's just how it is. How many YouTubers do we know in the past that have taken advantage of their subscribers? I can't even remember this white boy's name. But there was some kid.
Austin Jones.
I think that's him. We was asking some 12-year-old to twerk.
Austin Jones. Yeah, Austin Jones.
And he was like,
I'm gonna Google that just in case it's wrong, because I don't want to just out some guy called Austin Jones.
Yeah, all Austin. If your name is Austin Jones out there, get fucked.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, Austin Jones pleads guilty to child pornography.
Yeah, it's him.
It's him, Austin Jones.
Luffy just wipes a single bead of sweat from his forehead.
just a random guy called Austin Jones, just being like, why? Why is that?
Or maybe the actual Austin Jones actually listening to this right now.
Oh, could you imagine?
Oh, mate.
Oh, Isn't he in prison?
Yeah, he's in prison. You know they have
Yeah,
computer access in prison.
I
depending on
mean,
the prison.
if
Yeah.
he's using his limited like internet terms,
What's this podcast?
fucking podcast, like
He
he's
just searched the corner of YouTube
why?
and
Hey,
finds
fucking props. He's
what,
dived deep into YouTube to find us.
Yeah.
He is so lost. Find your way back, dude.
what a maggot. But yeah, like he was sending out videos and whatnot showing 12-year-old girls how to twerk. First of all, he looked like a fucking moron. And you should see,
Oh,
like he looked. Oh, it was just.
isn't he like he's a classic like Justin Bieber haircut,
Yeah, yeah,
like
like he was
Yeah,
another one that for
yeah.
a
like
white boy.
early 2000s white pop star
Yeah, yeah,
vibe,
exactly.
innit?
Yeah,
Like,
for a white boy, that's what he looked like. It's like this guy, like this guy tall, dark, and handsome. You get what I mean? That white
Yeah.
boy he looked like he was in a boy band. Looked like Justin Bieber's twin. So obviously, he took advantage of that. Same as Derrick Jones, who's tall, dark, and handsome. Call me up, Derrick, man.
this entire podcast is just us trying to get Derek's number.
Please, character says.
Please, man, give me some
Gotta put
advice.
his name in the title so he notices.
Just Derrick in the tag.
Derrick.
Derrick, come, please. Derrick, I love you. Derrick, come. But
Derek, bro.
to that, Derrick, bro, come here, bro. But yeah, the whole thing is guys like that are gonna do that. If they're given a platform like not just YouTube, they could be a fucking famous actor. You got Weinstein. That guy looked like an overgrown frog. Do you understand? And he was married to a supermodel. Like these guys are gonna use their fame. They're gonna use what they have to take advantage. That's just a given. You know. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. And in conclusion, I would say
All men are scum.
come on, let's not out ourselves there.
So hashtag no men.
Yeah, hashtag not all men. Hashtag some men.
Hashtag most men.
Hashtag
Hashtag 6 p.m. curfew.
I remember that shit, the 6 p.m. curfew. Well, but in conclusion, ladies and a couple of guys, I hope one day it's a lot of ladies, a fuck ton of ladies. Right, in conclusion, ladies, if you see a man shitting on a bunch of men, don't trust that man, okay? And guys who are watching this, stop giving your your hard-earned money to bitches who just don't want to work for a living. Just don't. Yeah? And then you don't have a reason to complain. Plain and simple. Do you guys want to add anything else to that?
Just everyone, just think for yourself. Like it's not that difficult. Like use your own mind. Make yourself happy. If doing what the other people may frown upon, I guess, makes you happy to a certain extent, then live your dreams and all that. But just have some
You can do what
self-respect
you
for
want.
yourself.
You can do what you want as long as what you're doing isn't hurting other people.
Yeah, just love yourself, but don't preach about it.
Yeah.
And love us as well.
Say that again.
And love us as well. We need love.
Love us. Please,
Yeah, love us. Love us more than yourself.
please. Like us.
Yeah.
Like the video, please.
Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button below. You can choose to be notified of all of our videos or just some of them.
Yeah.
Please, all of them, because we post every single
We're
day.
poor. We're hungry.
Wait. We didn't talk about posting every single day. What?
When the last podcast, like 2 months ago, like, come on. We got that one guy.
Hell yeah! So one guy who views this, we'll love you specifically.
Come to my house, innit?
Yeah, our addresses will be in the description.
Alright, everyone, we love you for lots of love from the come and go thing. And just like my friend Will said, think for yourself and stop listening to morons, quote unquote, relationship gurus and all of that shit. Alright?
But at the same
The whole
time,
point of this podcast is literally don't listen to people giving relationship advice whilst we're giving fucking relationship
yeah,
advice
yeah.
in the
That's what I was also going to
this
say.
entire
Don't,
fucking podcast is just mute.
I was also going to say, just don't take us too seriously as well. We're putting our opinions across. They are opinions, not fact.
Yeah. The only fact is that we are one of the most diverse podcast people.
Absolutely. We have at
got a
least two
minority in
different
there, we
races.
got a white boy in there, and we got LGBT in there. We got the whole LGBT rolled into one person. Okay? And that's Hayden Leafy. Bye.